Chapter 6. Eve, mother of all living. Few enough are the scriptural references to precious women, but among those mentioned, Eve should be the most honored, the mother of all living of a world, performing the mission assigned to her, with all the honor and dignity that could be ascribed to her. Brigham Young gives her more honor than just being the first woman upon the earth, for he spoke of her mission in the pre-existence. And Eve, our common mother, who is the mother of all living, bore these spirits in the celestial world, and then this earth was organized by Elohim, Jehovah, and Michael, who was Adam, our common father. Adam and Eve had the privilege to continue the work of progression, consequently came to this earth, and commenced the great work of forming tabernacles for those spirits to dwell in. Brigham Young, L. John Nuttall Journal, 119. Surprising as this may sound, this doctrine solves a considerable mystery behind the very veil of creation. If Adam is the father of our spirits and bodies, it is only reasonable that Eve is the mother. And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. Gen. 3:20. That she was the mother of all living was said of Eve before she had given birth to Cain and Abel, or other mortal children. If she was called the mother of all living before she had any mortal children, it could only have reference to all of her spirit children. Chapter 1 of Genesis can apply only to the pre-existence, wherein Adam and Eve were told to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over every living thing upon the earth. Eve was given the commandment to replenish the earth, therefore, she must have had children first in the spirit world, in order to replenish the world. To plenish is to stock up, and to replenish is to fill up again. Eve plenished the spirit world with spirit children, and then replenished the physical world with them once more as mortals. Then again, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. Gen. 3:16. How could her sorrow and conception be multiplied unless she had already experienced them? In order to multiply a thing, it must first exist. As a resurrected being and mother of spirit children, she would be acquainted with sorrow and conception, but in mortality, she was told that it would be multiplied. President Young confirmed this doctrine of Eve's being the mother of our spirits. According to Nuttall, Wednesday 7, at Temple. I officiated as recorder at the font. Press. Young was filled with the Spirit of God in Revelation and said, when we got our washings and anointings under the hands of the prophet Joseph at Nauvoo, we had only one room to work in. He gave the keywords, signs, tokens and penalties. These things of which I have been speaking are what are termed the mysteries of godliness, but they will enable you to understand the expression of Jesus, made while in Jerusalem. This is life eternal, that they might know thee the only true God and Jesus Christ whom thou hast sent. Adam was an immortal being when he came on this earth. And had begotten all the spirits that was sick to come to this earth, and Eve, our common mother, who is the mother of all living, bore those spirits in the celestial world. L. John Nuttall Journal, Vol. 118-20. Brigham Young taught that Eve was the mother of the spirits, and introduced the physical bodies of all living. He made the following promise to mortal mothers. Many of the sisters grieve because they are not blessed with offspring. You will see the time when you will have millions of children around you. If you are faithful to your covenants, you will become mothers of nations. You will become Eves to earths like this, and when you have assisted in peopling one earth, there are millions of earths still in the course of creation. And when they have endured 1,000 million times longer than this earth, it is only as it were the beginning of your creations. Be faithful, and if you are not blessed with children in this time, you will hereafter. But I would not dare tell you all I know about these matters. Brigham Young, J.D. 8208. Before me I see a house full of Eves. What a crowd of reflections the word Eve is calculated to bring up. Eve was the name or title conferred upon our first mother, because she was actually to be the mother of all the human beings who should live upon this earth. I am looking upon a congregation designed to be just such beings. Brigham Young, Mill. Star 31-267. If mortal woman can become an Eve to an earth like this, and after peopling one earth, there are millions of other earths to become an Eve upon, it is evident that the mother of those spirit children would often come to earth as an Eve. And who will be her Adam? Her husband, of course, who is an exalted man. Hence, they were a god and a goddess. Consequently, a faithful woman, who gains her celestial resurrection, will first bear spirit children. Then she will come down to an earth, charging her system with blood to bear mortal tabernacles for those spirit children. After she is the mother of all living in the spirit world, she descends to become an Eve in mortality, where she will replenish the earth with her children, so they too may gain mortality and an exaltation. President Young continued to teach this doctrine to the women of the church. Now, taking the history of creation as given by Moses, Let me ask the question, Mother Eve. Did you not partake of the forbidden fruit, as also did Adam, and thus bring sin and iniquity into the world? Oh, yes, says Mother Eve. Then, why cannot you bear the affliction of it? Why not say, if I was the cause of bringing evil into the world, I will firmly bear all that God puts upon me, and maintain his word and his law, and so work out my salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God working within me. I ask this question of you, Mother Eves, every one of you. If you are not sanctified and prepared, you ought to be sanctifying and preparing yourselves for the blessings in store for you, when it will be said of you, this is Eve. Why? Because you are the mother of all living. You might as well prepare first as last. If you wish to be Eves and mothers of human families, you ought to bear the burden. Brigham Young, J.D. 1297. These were strong evidences that every woman who gained her exaltation would at some time become an Eve, and her husband would become an Adam. Eve, immortal Eve, came down to earth to become the mother of a race. How become the mother of a world of mortals except by herself again becoming mortal? How become mortal only by transgressing the laws of immortality? How only by eating of the forbidden fruit, by partaking of the elements of a mortal earth, in which the seed of death was everywhere scattered? All orthodox theologians believe Adam and Eve to have been at first immortal, and all acknowledge the great command, be fruitful and multiply. That they were not about to become the parents of a world of immortals is evident, for they were on a mortal earth. Women of Mormondom, pages 197-98. Other quotations by Brigham Young further substantiate the doctrinal basis of Adam as God and Eve the goddess. Our first parents ... brought death into the world. ... Through the death of Jesus Christ, life and immortality were introduced ... that we may come forth with the same kind of body that Adam had before the fall, a body of immortal flesh and bones. Adam and Eve were immortal, the same as resurrected beings ... After the redemption, we will not only have the same kind of bodies that they possessed in the Garden of Eden before the fall, but we will have a knowledge of good and evil through our experience. J.D. 344. There is only one gospel sermon ... and the time that is required to preach it is from the day of the fall, or from the day when Adam and his wife Eve came here upon this planet. J.D. 390. When Father Adam came to assist in organizing the earth out of the crude material that was found, an earth was made upon which the children of men could live. After the earth was prepared, Father Adam came and stayed here, and there was a woman brought to him. Now I am telling you something that many of you know. It has been told to you, and the brethren and sisters should understand it. There was a certain woman brought to Father Adam whose name was Eve, because she was the first woman, and she was given to him to be his wife. I am not disposed to give any further knowledge concerning her at present. There is no doubt but he left many companions. The great and glorious doctrine that pertains to this I have not time to dwell upon, neither should I at present if I had time. He understood this whole machinery or system before he came to this earth, and I hope my brethren and sisters will profit by what I have told them. J.D. 16-167. In Tullige's Women of Mormondom, there is a beautiful eulogy to Eve. The supreme Unitarian conception is her, the God-Father and the God-Mother. The grand unity of God is in them, in the divine fatherhood and divine motherhood, the very beginning and consummation of creation. Not in the God-Father and the God-Son can the unity of the heavens and the earth be worked out, neither with any logic of facts nor of idealities. In them the Masonic trinities, in the everlasting fathers and the everlasting mothers, the unities of creations. Our Mother in heaven is decidedly a new revelation, as beautiful and delicate to the masculine sense of the race, as it is just and exalting to the feminine. It is the woman's own revelation of our Mother in heaven, co-existent and co-equal with the Eternal Father. This was left, among the unrevealed truths, to the present age, when it would seem the woman is destined by Providence to become very much the oracle of a new and peculiar civilization. The oracle of this last grand truth of woman's divinity, and of her eternal mother as the partner with the Father in the creation of worlds, is none other than the Mormon Church. It was revealed in the glorious theology of Joseph and established by Brigham in the vast patriarchal system which he has made firm as the foundations of the earth, by proclaiming Adam as our Father and God. The Father is first in name and order, but the Mother is with him, these twain, one from the beginning. Women of Mormondom, pages 193-94. Among the many new items of doctrine which were introduced to the Church by Brigham Young, was the marriage of Adam. According to President Young, Adam had a plurality of wives. Adam helped to make this earth, it was created expressly for him, and after it was made, he and his companion came here. He brought one of his wives with him, and she was called Eve, because she was the first woman upon the earth. Day. News, June 18, 1873. When our father Adam came into the Garden of Eden, he came into it with a celestial body, and brought Eve, one of his wives, with him. JD 150. When Brigham Young said Adam came into the Garden of Eden with one of his wives, he proclaimed a marriage under the eternal covenant and ordinance, which could have been performed only on another earth. Spirits cannot marry and have mortal children. Adam and Eve were once mortal and sealed by powers of priesthood on some other earth, under all of the covenants of marriage. Then as resurrected beings, they reproduced spirit children. The fall is simple. Our immoral parents came down to fall, came down to transgress the laws of immortality, came down to give birth to mortal tabernacles for a world of spirits. Eve, then, came down to be the mother of a world. Glorious mother capable of dying at the very beginning to give life to her offspring, that through mortality the eternal life of the gods might be given her sons and daughters. Motherhood the same from the beginning even to the end, the love of motherhood passing all understanding. Thus read our Mormon sisters of the fall of their mother. Women of Mormondom, pages 197-98. Whatever twists of interpretation or misquotes may be ascribed to Brigham Young's teachings about Adam, there certainly is no misunderstanding of his declaration of the office or title of Eve. When he told the Latter-day Saint women that they would become Eves to earths like this, he was fully explaining their mission as resurrected and exalted beings. He was saying that God descended to become an Adam, and his wife descended to become an Eve. The fall of Adam was also the fall of Eve. Their descension was to give birth to mortal tabernacles for their spirit children to possess. Mother Eve is our goddess of heaven.